I had another pretty good weekend as far as you know team improvements going forward, and so we saw some good improvements in some event areas that we're really trying to get some movement from towards putting yourself in better situations for the conference championships, and so I really try to get as many people packed in there in the top 12 on the descending order list as you can. Top 8 make finals, and so the more people you have within reaching distance of those top 8 spots, the better you feel going into the championships. And if you can put more than 1, 2, 3 athletes in those positions, and you have the depth to overcome maybe a poor performance from one person that can be picked up from another. And so just trying to get some overall team depth in the events across the board was kind of the goal going forward into this weekend. Just told the team heading in that we had to get a big collective push in the same direction with everyone improving from the field events to the track events, and just trying to see that happen. I think we did a good job of that down in Ames, and so really looking forward to another opportunity this weekend. South Dakota State, we get a chance to see some of the top schools from the Summit League with North Dakota State, South Dakota State, South Dakota. All those schools are always in the top 3 there. That league is very similar to our league in the Valley, so it's just nice to get some other schools that are really structured very similarly to us in the fact that they're a well-balanced team from the field events to the track, and so it's going to be a good matchup for us to go up there and just kind of see how we stack up with those teams, because they're always in the hunt for titles there, and we always want to be in the hunt for titles here, and so should be great competition in Brookings, and looking forward to getting to a different location. Been in the state of Iowa for quite a bit, so they have a nice facility up there that alludes to some fast times and some big jumps and far throws and those kind of things. So a couple of highlights from this weekend. Chase Kanucky had another great week. I know I talk about him every week, but he just keeps getting better. So again, this week he ran 148.5 in the 800 meters, puts himself top 35 in the national rankings. So with him there, and then Brendan Safely also had a nice jump again this weekend. He PR'd by 1 centimeter, so progress is progress. You never want to overlook that improvement. And so, for him to jump, 5:20 last week, and then 5:21 this week, or maybe it was 21 and now it's 22, right in there. Consistency breeds success, and so for him to have 2 big weekends where he's jumping over 17 feet, now you're really just like, that's who you are. You're a 17-foot pole vaulter, and I know he's got more marks in him. That competition was really light on number of competitors, and so he was just like, everyone else was out at like 14.5, 15 feet, and then he comes in after them and is jumping by himself. So this weekend there's a lot better competition up there for him at Brookings, so some other outstanding pole vaulters. So it's going to be great for him to get those competitive juices flowing, because at the conference meet, it's going to be him and the other guys that are jumping really well in the conference. So it's going to be nice to have some guys jumping at the same bar as you, and not just going back there and waiting for the next bar to go up and just sitting with your thoughts the whole time with that. So with Chase 35th, I think Brendan's in the 30s, and Spencer Kessel in the shot put with earlier season mark. He's also in the top 30. So I have 3 athletes on the men's side ranked inside the top 35. In the descending order list of the national marks is pretty outstanding stuff. And so making the indoor national meet is one of the hardest track meets to get in the world. And so have guys that are legitimately right there with shots to get there. And so from where you're at now, 35th to 16th, take top 16. It's not that far away. And so if you can kind of put one together, then you have a shot. So they're doing a great job. And on the women's side, it just was a really good, solid weekend with big improvements across the board. And I was really pleased with that. And as we continue to push this young team forward into being the best they can be down the stretch here. So any questions about track?
I know when we talk about finishing in a group, it's more of a cross-country thing as opposed to a track and field thing. But looking from the results, you had 3 of the top 5 in the women's high jump this past weekend. Is there something to say about just what those 3 are doing and how they're trying to improve, but also if they're that close to each other, how's kind of that battle as they push each other to be better?
Yeah, that's a great situation to have when you have depth, and you can see it in practice. They have each other to jump against in practice. Competition is great in practice settings, and so those women really work hard together. They all have different strengths, and the great thing about them is they're all real positive, and they feed into each other's success. It's not like, nobody's wishing ill will on their teammates or anything. And so it's like, you have a good day, I hope I can have a better day. But if I don't, then I'm really happy you had a great day. And so that type of, like, I call it healthy competitive atmosphere is what you strive for with the team environment. And that's what we have, especially in that group. They're terrific. And again, having all of them like stacked in there from, I think, 3 women have jumped 170, and then a couple other right on the heels in that 165 range. You give yourself a great chance to jump high and score a lot of women when you have that many athletes and stacked in there. And the same could be said like on the men's side in the 800. I think we have 3 or 4 guys in the top 8 in there, and so it just gives you the I'm not going to say it's a luxury because it's like you have to do it. You know what I mean? There's no guarantees. You can go and be ranked first in the conference and not make a final. That happens all the time. And so it's just one of those things where you have the competition in practice that just raises the level of everyone every single day. And so it's just not you out there trying to push yourself. You know that if you have a bad day, you have a teammate that's going to be there to push you, hold you up on those days, and you're going to be dragging people along with you when they have bad days too. So it's a really good, fun environment to be a part of, and our athletes do a terrific job of all of that stuff.
Could you repeat who's going to be there in Brookings this weekend?
Oh, there's going to be a lot of squads up there. So like South Dakota State, North Dakota State, South Dakota, and then you have a lot of NAIA schools that are over in that world. But those are like the biggest D1 schools, and you have some junior colleges that are pretty strong as well. So it's kind of like a stew of different divisions with all of them us coming together. But at the end of the day, you know, all those divisions have terrific athletes, and so it's going to be a really outstanding meet for us.
Going up against USD, that's a school that's put out a lot of high-quality pole vaulters of late. You mentioned Brandon, what he's been able to do recently. Going up against a program that's known for pole vaulting, what's that do for a guy who's not at that program but competing against the program?
I mean, it's great, and if you want to jump big bars, you have to be like jumping against some guys that can jump big bars, and so not that you can't jump high when it's you by yourself sometimes, but it's just like everything. It's easier to run fast when you're in a race with fast guys. It's easier to jump farther when you have, you know, people passing you on a second attempt jump, and you got to, you know, raise your level of competition to jump ahead of them. And so, you know, when you're on the runway and you see someone clearing that, you know, 5:30 bar, and it's the first time you jumped at it, it's just you have the confidence. It's like, all right, well, you're trying to win the competition, you know. And so now that he's at the point of jumping those types of heights, it's like you're in the hunt to win almost any competition we go to. And so that's exciting for him because he's a competitor and likes to win. And so it's just going to raise his level this weekend of alertness and just and I know he's been working on some things in practice and looking really good. And so just get him out there again and get some competition is going to be a fun thing for him for sure. And I can't wait to watch it unfold. All right, go Panthers.